Just check out that super glossy, luscious sauce, and that beef, let me tell you guys, is super tender. This is my version of Mongolian beef. Mongolian beef. The origins of this dish are a little murky. Some say it originated in Taiwan, some in China, some in Chinese restaurants in America. I have fabulous memories of this dish growing up, eating it in Chinese restaurants in Australia. For me, the dish is all about that really beautiful, sweet, glossy sauce, the onion, and a super tender strip of beef. So let's get going on the beef first of all, because I've got quite a few tips and tricks for getting just the right texture. Now, I'm going to do this on a bit of a budget. I'm using flank steak today. So flank steak is a cheaper cut of steak and can be tough if you don't deal with it in the right way. But we're going to deal with it in the right way, don't worry. So it looks like this, flat, thin, long piece. And if you have a look here, the grains run long, all the way along the piece here. And what we want to do is, first of all, cut with the grain. So I get two pieces. And now you want to cut against the grain. So the cutting with and against is really important, because cutting against the grain means that we're going to get a more tender strip of beef, and also cutting on an angle is going to help with that as well. This is super important when you're using cheaper cuts of beef. Now the other important part is the marinade. I've got some special ingredients that are going to help with tenderizing that beef and getting the right texture. So first of all, pretty standard soy sauce. Now I also want some Chinese Shaoxing wine here. And now those of you who have been watching my channel for a while will know my little trick here, but I use some corn flour, and the corn flour will help to kind of coat the outside of the beef and give us that glossy texture. And then baking soda, just a little dash, and the baking soda is going to help tenderize the beef and help it brown quicker, which means it'll cook quicker, stay nice and tender, all those things. And you really need to get in here with your hands and mix everything. Make sure each of those pieces of beef has a nice coating of that marinade. Now for the stir fry sauce, really simple, just some soy sauce, chicken stock, some brown sugar, and a little bit more Chinese wine. Let's give that a mix to help that sugar dissolve a little bit. And now let's get our beef cooking. Now with a secondary cut of steak like we're using, the flank steak, it's really important the way we cook the beef, because this is where things can go wrong also. So what I want to do is pay close attention to the beef and just cook it on its own. I'll take it out and then we'll make the vegetables and sauce separately. It will all come together beautifully, I promise. A little bit of oil in my hot pan first of all. Get that beef in there. And you really want to get it spread out. So spreading the beef out means that we're getting as much heat contact with each little piece of beef as possible. And that's going to promote browning, quicker cooking, and also make sure we're not stewing the beef. We want to sear the beef. Now just leave it for a minute or so. I want to get some colour on there before I start stir frying. Now you can see we've already got a little bit of colour on there, which is great. I want to give it a bit of a flip and then let it cook again, get some more colour. Now when that beef is just barely cooked, possibly still even a little bit pink in places, I'm going to take it out. And you want to spread it out as much as possible. I don't want it all bunched up and steaming and producing moisture. Now straight back into the same pan, I'm going to put some onion. And depending on how fatty your beef is, you might need to add a bit of oil here. I'm going to add a little bit more. Okay, now in goes some ginger, some garlic. And these are an optional, but I quite like to add some dried red chillies here as well. Just going to snip them straight in. Now I'm going to deglaze the pan and lift off all of that beefy kind of stuff stuck to the bottom of the pan, all that flavour. I'm going to deglaze it with our sauce. Just give that sauce a minute or so to bubble away, for that sugar to dissolve and start to thicken and sweeten up the sauce. Now I'm going to add in some corn flour mixed with a little bit of water just to thicken everything up. I love how magically glossy everything becomes almost instantly. Now I'm going to get my beef back in there. And some spring onion. And then just look at that lusciousness. And that's it. Done. thank goodness, because it's making me really hungry. Alright, let's get that out onto a plate. So there you go, my friends, my version of Mongolian beef. Let's see how we've gone. Wow, it is crazy how tender that beef is. I mean, to be able to use a cheaper cut like that and turn it into something so luscious like this, now that's magic. Sauce, sweet, salty.